In this video here, what I'd like to do is we're going to talk a little bit about the JFK assassination. And what we're going to do is we're going to point out some facts that over the years people's like gone out of hand. And I'm going to show real images to back it, back up everything I'm going to talk about. I want to explain that when I did JFK assassination, when I first started it, I know as much as like everybody else did. We heard Lee Harvey Oswald was the man that shot JFK, and there was only 3 shots fired that day. And that's how I like to do, when I do research, that's how I like to do it, because if I start reading a lot of conspiracy books and other people's research, it'll start conflicting with, I'm going to start paying attention to what they see, and I'll overlook everything. So when I was asked to do research on the JFK assassination, I was asked by a gentleman that actually was there that day, and he did, contacted me through email and asked me about it, because, he's heard all the conspiracies, he's read all the books. And it's like he says, no one's never actually came to any conclusions on anything. So he asked me to do an investigation on it, because he would like to know what's actually, happened that day. So I decided to do it. So what I like to do is I want to point out some facts that, like I said, got way out of hand, because I've been looking at a lot of videos lately, and some of these videos got Mrs. Kennedy killing her own husband. A new claim came out, Governor Connally is the one who shot Kennedy. There's too many claims out there about these persons. This person killed this person killed this person. It's just gone too far out of hand. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you real facts, and I'm going to point out a lot of these claims that was made because of these people making these claims, and it just got too far out of hand. First off, let's look at LBJ. Everybody said he's the man that killed Kennedy, because of pure simple fact he was there with Kennedy in Dallas. And it's the only time you ever see president and vice president in the location. So that makes him the murderer. That makes him the head honcho, or head cheese, whatever you want to put it, as the man organized JFK assassination. And also they claim, well, when he turned down, when his car turned down Elm Street, he hid. He ducked down behind the seat because he knew the shots were going to start coming. These are falsified claims, okay? And let me show you why. Lyndon B. Johnson went with Kennedy to Texas because the pure simple fact of it is this. People hand out flyers, says one for treason, and starts talking about what Kennedy did as treason. And Texas is Lyndon B. Johnson's home state. So he figures, well, the way they figured it as, if Johnson was there with Kennedy and seeing Johnson backing up Kennedy, then that would change the people's mind in Texas to back Kennedy as well, because a lot of these flyers was handed out before they gone to Dallas. And Lyndon B. Johnson was there in Dallas with them, yes, and he was also in other parts of Texas with them as well. So this is why Lyndon B. Johnson was in Dallas, Texas at the time of the assassination with John F. Kennedy, because the pure simple fact of it is John F. Kennedy, there was a lot of people out there that didn't like him in Texas because of the treason, as they claimed. Now, was Lyndon B. Johnson ducking down behind the seat of the car when they turned down on Elm Street? Again, we have to say, no, he wasn't. Because if we look over here, which I'm going to zoom in, this is Lyndon B. Johnson's car. We see the senator here, smiling, looking over. You see Mrs. Lady Bird, LBJ's wife. Lady Bird, smiling, having a good time looking this way. And we also see right here, this is Lyndon B. Johnson right here. He did not duck down behind the seat. We could see his head and his face right here. There's two things when I looked at this part of the film. Is one, if Lyndon B. Johnson did duck down as they claimed, this car would either speed up, Lady Bird would be looking down at her lap, and the senator will also be looking down as well. Because they'd be wondering what's wrong. Well, they're going to be wondering why he was ducking down. But he wasn't ducking down. They was all sitting there smiling, having a good time, waving at the people and everything else. So this was another falsified claim. Now, Lyndon B. Johnson can be seen in his car here. He did not know there was assassins there. Because if he did, he would have reacted that way. But Lyndon B. Johnson didn't know the assassination was going to happen. He was in Texas because people was handing out flyers about John F. Kennedy for treason. And Lyndon B. Johnson was there to show his fellow Texans he was behind JFK all the way. That's why we see Lyndon B. Johnson was in the state of Texas with Kennedy at the time of the assassination. For years, again, there's a claim about this hobo here was E. Howard Hunt. Was that him? There's some similarities, but that's not him. That's just a man, that's an older man, because he looks actually older than E. Howard Hunt. We could say right here, here's E. Howard Hunt right here. Because we see his jaw, it's the same. Face structure is the same. We can't see the eyes or the nose and the mouth, but we can see about the outline of the face is the same. See, he has the same hat on. See, he has the same coat on. This right here could be E. Howard Hunt. Just like when we pull up other images like this one here. If we look at this gentleman here, he looks like Lyndon B. Johnson. He also looks like Governor Connally. Can we say that's Governor Connally? Can we say that's Lyndon B. Johnson? No, we can't. People do look alike. That's why, excuse me, when we look at images, okay, we could take somebody, look like somebody, and say, here this person is, here is that person. We cannot do that. Just like when we look at this image here, there's been claims of, we could see Oswald right here. That's Oswald right there. No, it's not Oswald. Even though people claim it's Oswald, but it's not Oswald. Then you also have pictures of this guy that looks somewhat like Bush. Again, blown out proportion. See, these why things, what I found in the film is because everybody's concentrating on what is told and all these conspiracy theories out there. People's concentrating on that, so this is why this happened. This is the person that did it. This is the person that did it. But we're not paying attention to what the films are showing us. We're not paying attention to what the images are showing us because of all these claims and all these theories. Just like when we go through here. Now, if we look at the black and white version of the Mormon photo, we do see a gentleman here with a rifle, and we see another gentleman looking through the windows with a rifle here. So when we colorize this is what we get. Now, all we did was put the color to it, and we can see the gunman right here. We see his face, and we see his hands holding his rifle that's sticking out. The gunman over here. Well, let's bring up full versions of them right here. This is the gunman. He's looking through the window of the Pentagon. His rifle sticking out right here. Here's his hands. Here's his face. Here's a gentleman standing beside the pillar of the Pentagon. We see his rifle, the barrel of the rifle sticking up right here. We see his arm, and we see his face here. Here's his face. Here's the rifle sticking up. We see his shoulder right here. This is from the Mormon photo. Now, as you see here, we have two gunmen seen in the Mormon photo in this certain location. We see this gunman right here again, right here, firing his rifle from that location right here. Right here we see again both gunmen, and we still see this guy aiming his rifle from this location here. This film backs up this film, this film backs up this film. I mean this image here. We see three different images taken by three different people from three different locations, and all these images show a man with a rifle, firing his rifle, and aiming his rifle. He's firing his rifle from his left side, he's aiming from his left side. Just because they said, now we're looking at the Darnell film, they said, well, no, that can't be it. That can't be the gunman, because Darnell film was filmed after they left and the assassination was over. No, it wasn't. And here's the reason why. As we see here, this is a station wagon that we see in the Darnell film. As we see, Mrs. Newman dropping to the ground right along with Mr. Newman. Here's the old gentleman that we see. And as we see over here, here's JFK. JFK is right here. This is his car right here, because this is one Secret Service agent's jumping on the back right here. Mrs. Kennedy's right here. JFK's car is still in the vicinity there. James Darnell is filmed from this direction. About a second later, that's when this car gets in frame, because as soon as this guy jumps out, this car starts going. That's when he gets him in the film, which he's filming from this angle here. Guy jumps out of the car keeps on going fast. That's why we see this gentleman here, Mrs. Newman here, and the gunman up in here. Because he was still aiming the shot, because this shot was taken right after Governor Conley was shot in the back, because that's who he shot, and the other shots was taking place at the time as well. So the James Darnell film, at the beginning of the film, was showing part of the assassination that was going on, but most of the rest of the James Darnell film was filmed after JFK's car was gone, because he starts going up in here and all the other stuff. That's why this image does show the gunman still, because he just got done taking his shot. This is that station wagon that we see. We see top of Mrs. Newman's head, and we see the old gentleman here. Remember, he's filmed at this angle here, and that's why we still see the gentleman right here before they start taking off. That's why we see the gunman here and the other gunman here. Right after this, after he took a shot. After he took a shot, that's when Darnell started filming. As soon as that shot was taken, he starts filming it, and then they take off. We could put timelines to this when we do our research, if we can. If we just pay attention to what the film shows us and the images show us, and don't base it on these theories and these claims. Just like right here. Shots had it came from the Daltex building. Here's the reason why. If the window where Oswald was shooting from, he would have struck one of these gentlemen right here on the end of the car. Because when we look at this view here, the window would have been up here. The window would have been up here. He would have shot. He would have got either him or him before he would have got Kennedy. Because Kennedy, they're right behind Kennedy. Oswald's sight would have been, these two gentlemen would have been in line of fire. The only way a shot can be taken is from the Daltex building. Two shots can come right here because they're coming in between the cars. I mean, in between the gentlemen. The Secret Service agents, I should say. Sorry. Because this is the only open spot that they have a clear shot to. Because if they were trying to shoot from Oswald Sniper's Nest, either one of these Secret Service agents would have got shot before Kennedy would have. When we look at it from this view, we can see what I want to point here. If we took it from Oswald's Sniper's Nest, he would have got one of them gentlemen right here on their car, on the vehicle. He would have shot one of them before he would have got a straight shot. The only way he's going to get a straight shot is coming from the Daltex building in between the Secret Service agents. Oswald would have hit him. Now, the location I found, 3 images of the gunman: Bill Newman, Mr. Spruder in his first testimony, claimed the shots came from behind him. Same thing as Bill Newman. Bill Newman said the shots came from behind him. What's behind him? Shelter number 3, where the 3 images show gunmen at. They took 2 shots. Newman claimed he heard 2 shots. Zapruder claimed he heard 2 shots. JFK was shot inside the head right here. By the angle of that shot, goes past Bill Newman and Zapruder right to Kennedy. When the second shot was taken right after it, went right to Governor Connally as he was turning his left, because he started turning his left right here, and then that shot came and struck him in his back when he was turning to his left, and that's why he went to his wife's lap. 3 images shows the gunman in this location here. 2 eyewitness accounts claim the shots came from behind him. 2 shots. They only fired 2 shots. These are facts. Now, when I was talking about facts, we're talking about what we can see. This is what the images are telling us. It's not what a story is telling us. It's not what people's telling us. These are what the images are telling us. Just like, I forgot his name. I think it was Jim or James something. He's right here looking through the window when he was seeing the JFK assassination. He said he heard shots coming from here. Well, he can be mistaken as well. And let me show you why. Remember, when we're looking in this location here, this is more or less an echo chamber. If you take a shot from the 5th floor and the 4th floor here from the Daltex building, he's got his head sticking out right here out of this window right here. We have an echo chamber. That these shots will sound like they're coming from up here, but they're actually coming from his side. If we study the location, like I said, if we study location, we can see the shots came from the 4th and 5th floor of the Daltex building. He had his head sticking out of this window here. He claimed the shots came from above him, which it wasn't. Actually, it was coming from the side of him. Now, he said he heard 3 shells hit the floor. He heard a boom, boom, click, click, boom, click, click, something like that. That's what he heard over here. There could have been somebody standing there, dropping the bullet casings and then take right off, because the rifle's already hidden and everything else, because this was a fake sniper's nest. That's just throw off everybody else. That's why you had a gentleman stand down here, and he says, well, there was a gunman firing up here. This is what he looked like. He gave a description of Oswald to a T, and he pointed the window he was at. So why all the policemen are running up in here and stuff like that, that gives these chances for these gentlemen right here to get away, and the other locations get away, because they're concentrating on this floor right here only. And the school book depository. If we go by the angles and we go by what we see, we can tell more what the image tells us if we pay attention. Just like people over here, they said they seen the smoke trails come from here. In shelter number 3, where the 2 gunmen were located at, because we could say that's where they were at because we have images to back it up, plus 2 eyewitness accounts. Shots being fired from here, and with the wind blowing, would make smoke look like it's coming from the fence, but it wasn't coming from the fence, it was coming from the shelter number 3. When they took the shot, boom, trail of smoke started blowing this way. Second shot, boom, trail of smoke started blowing this way, because the wind was blowing that day. Puts the smoke coming from, looked like it would be coming from. When you're staring at this angle here, remember, when you're staring at this angle here, there's trees actually supposed to be up here, because this is a 3D model of it. Trees are up here, and the picket fence is right here. Picket fence comes here to here, and trees. And when the shots come from here, it looked like it'd be coming from here. From this angle, when the shots are taken, it looks like they're coming from here, but they're actually coming from shelter number 3. This is James' file. He claimed he shot John F. Kennedy. Now remember, we're just basing his claim on his words only. That's it. He's basing his claim on his word only. But we can prove that he did not shoot Kennedy, because the pure simple fact of it is this. James' file claimed that he was the gunman on the grassy knoll, and he was firing from the picket fence over here. But the images and the films, the eyewitness accounts, shows the gunman right here, in shelter number 3. James Fowle claimed he was over here by the fence, the picket fence. So he could not shoot Kennedy. He did not shoot Kennedy. That's just a story that he wanted to make up to get his name in history books, like a lot of researchers done in the past, and a lot of people's done in the past. Let's put something down in there. We'll get our names in the history books, and there you go. But like I said, what we're doing, we're looking at images and facts. We're not going to tell a story or anything else. We know the gunman's here because of the images that we see, and 2 eyewitness accounts, and the locations where the bullets was fired. James Fowle claims he was over here, where the picket fence is. He took that shot. No, that's a lie. James Fowle was not the assassin. They could say, well, this document says this document says that. But again, we're pointing out words, we're pointing out documents. We're just pointing out words, we're not pointing out images. That's what I'm saying. Images is telling us a totally different story. Just like the Zapruder film. Here's a Zapruder film. Here's frame 400 of the Zapruder film, 401 of the Zapruder film, frame 402 of the Zapruder film. The Zapruder film shows a bullet striking in frame 401. And 402 shows the bullet ricocheting off of the concrete. And then, right here, is that bullet hole still today. When I found this shot, here's what I did. When I found this shot, because like I said, when I went into researching on this, I did not go over none of the stories. I just got copies of the images, I got copies of the films, and just gone over them and see what they tell me. Not what people told me, not what stories told me, not what books told me. After I done my research, then I started reading the theory books and the conspiracy books, and then videos on people's claims and stuff. But that was done after I done my research. So what I did was, I have some friends that's in Dallas, Texas. I got friends actually all over the United States. When I was analyzing this part of film, and I seen a bullet striking here, as we see in this Zapruder film, and a bullet ricocheting, I went over this frames like a dozen times just to make sure, in motion, just to make sure that there was a bullet striking there. I made a phone call to a friend in Dallas, Texas, and I said, I want you to go to a specific location and take a photo for me. He asked me, what am I supposed to be taking a picture of? I said, according to the Zapruder film, there should be more evidence there. I did not tell him what it was yet. I did not tell him what it was. So the next morning, he went over there, took a photo for me. This is the image he took for me. He emailed it to me. He also sent me a copy of it, of the photo. And after he emailed me the copy, I opened it up, and there was a bullet hole. So he called me, and we was talking, and he says, why did you want me to take a picture of that hole for? I mean, of the concrete for? I said, because the Zapruder film shows a bullet striking that area there that you just took a picture for me. And he says, what? And I said, because the Zapruder film showed me, the bullet striking there. He says, they said there was a bullet that struck there. And I said, well, I didn't know it. I'm just telling you what the film shows me. Okay, that's what I'm saying. See, when I went to the JFK assassination research, doing it, I didn't know nothing about the research, just about, like I said, Oswald doing it 3 shots. Because I let the films and the images tell me what happened that day. Not a person, not theories, not words. We're going on images, because images are real facts. Words can be added to a story. Theories are just theories, no proof to back it up, and you can't use words to back up a theory. I'm basing my research on what I could see in the films and the images. I knew there was a bullet that struck there, and I didn't know nothing about that. This Zapruder film does show the bullet striking air. And just like when the grass, right here, we see the police officer and the people looking at the grass area, because there was 2 shots. There was one shot here and there was another shot right here. 2 bullets did strike the grass. We see this in the Zapruder film. These images back up them 2 shots. This is what we call evidence. The Zapruder film shows 2 shots being struck on the grass area. These 2 images here shows these people looking at where them bullets came to rest. See, that's what I'm talking about. When we're doing research on something, like I said, a theory is a theory, a claim is a claim. And it's easy to start theories and it's easy to start claims. All you gotta do is point something else, and here you go, just like E. Howard Hunt. Just because this gentleman looks like him, this is E. Howard Hunt. But doesn't mean it's him or not. Because someone points it out and said it is, doesn't make it true. He looks like him a little bit, but there's also some details between the 2 images that can tell you that's not. Just like when they said LBJ was one there because LBJ was with Kennedy. Well, we know when Kennedy and them gone to Dallas, Texas, they was handing these flyers out, says wanted for treason. There was a lot of people in Texas against Kennedy. So if they have a fellow Texan with them, then showing that LBJ's backing Kennedy because he's there with them, so everybody else should back him as well. So see, there's answers to the questions if you just not worry about the theories and you actually study what the film is and study the background of why these people was there, what was taking place. Like I said, it got lost. No one didn't pay attention to it, just like the government. If the government has something to do with it, they would have known where they placed their snipers as well. CIA, the FBI, if they knew where their snipers were, if they planned this, they would know where their snipers are at, to be honest with you. But they never seen them in the Mormon photo. They never seen them in the Nix film. They never seen them in a Darnell film. These images should never even been shown to the public if our government had something to do with it. CIA had anything to do with it, FBI agents had anything to do with it. They'd know where they would have stuck their snipers at, and they would know, make sure there was no cameras around there or any pedestrians around where their assassins were. This was not even, the assassination of JFK was not done by professional assassins anyway. Because when we look at the facts of how many shots was taken that day, we know 3 shots came from behind Kennedy. We know 2 shots came from the right of Kennedy. And we also know 6 shots came from the left of Kennedy because of the images that we found. I found 11 shots was taken that day. 5 shots made contacts with Governor Connally and JFK, but there were 6 missed shots as well. I have the images. I show the images of the 6 shots. 2 shots to the grass, 1 shot to the steps, 1 shot to the manhole cover here, 1 shot to the street sign and lamppost, and the other shot to the curb where James Talbert, I think it was James Talbert, or a pedestrian, I'm going to say a pedestrian, like I said, I don't have all my files in front of me on my notes, but a pedestrian got struck by a piece of the concrete from the curb. Okay, now if a professional sniper would have took these shots and he worked for the CIA or the FBI, 1 shot that's all would have took. 1 shot. 2 shots the most. I'll even go 2 shots the most, but that's it. There's not going to be no more shots than that. Just like for years, people's going to be sitting there saying, well, Kennedy got shot from the front because there's the bullet hole. That's not a bullet hole. What we've seen here is a cracked windshield, no bullet hole, a cracked windshield with a piece of bone fragment sticking on the inside. When JFK was shot in the head, a piece of that bone fragment shot out, struck the inside of the glass and embedded into the glass and cracked the windshield. There is no hole there. There's no bullet hole. That is a cracked windshield, not a bullet hole. There is just a piece of bone fragment that was lodged into the glass when a piece of skull was, when JFK was shot in the side of the head and a piece of skull flew out and struck the glass. Again, like I said, I pointed out a fact. I'm showing that fact that it's not a bullet hole, it's a bone fragment, but they claim it's a bullet hole. Again, we're going with the theories and the conspiracies. If you go by what the images show, you'll find the gunmen. I found them. If you go by logic of the way everybody was arranged that day and how they took their routes and the location of the people, we can make more sense out of it. And it also lines in with the images as well. Like over here, we had people said they heard 3 shots. People over here claim they heard 2 shots. People over here that's in this location here or this location here, they claim they heard 5 shots. Yes, they would hear 5 shots because they're in the middle of 3 shots came here and 2 shots came from over here. The shots that came from over here is going to sound more of a less slight echo because they're going straight across because they're farther back. People over here said they heard 3 shots. People over here said they heard 2 shots. People in the center here said they heard 5 shots. People that's right here said they heard more shots. So see, when you line up the eyewitnesses to their location they was at, you can actually pinpoint who fired what shot. You can pinpoint a lot of things that matches these images and these films. But there's also a lot of theories and stories that's told now that doesn't matches any of the evidence that's there. We're going to, like I said, when we're doing research on something, don't base your research on other people's research. Don't base it on the theories that's been told. Don't base your research on what these books told. Just like when I did research on the JFK assassination, one thing I did stay away from was the talk, is like the Mormon photo here. Sorry, let me get a better Mormon photo here. I want to open this up here. Okay. If I base my research, if I went ahead and did research going over the theories first and over the stories first, I'd have been looking at this location too, like everybody else has been doing over these years. I wouldn't even seen these guys as well. Even when I colorize it, I wouldn't have paid attention to these guys over here because I'm too busy over here looking as everybody else did. I'd be looking over here for that badge man. I'd be looking over here for that gunman. I'd be looking over here for a gunman. That's why we never pay attention to over here, because we're concentrating over here because this is what everybody said. This is where the location of the gunman was at, right here. So everybody's looking in this direction. From here to here they're looking. Gunman is right in here. But they're not paying attention. That's over here. That's what I'm saying. When we do research, we're going to analyze a photo. It's best to analyze the whole photo. Don't just concentrate on one area, because one area is not going to tell you nothing. The whole image is telling you a story. This image here is telling you the gunman right here because of the gunman being right there. Let me zoom in some. The gunmen are right there. Mr. Zapruder, this is Setzman. Gunman 1, Gunman 2. Images don't lie. When I found this gunman's location, I knew where to look at. I knew a location to look at, and that's how I found, like I said, in this Zapruder film, Nick's film, we see the gunman right here firing his rifle. We see the rifle fire and a flare from the rifle, the smoke trail of the rifle being fired. There's your gunman right there, firing his rifle from there. This is evidence. Then we have the gunman aiming his rifle in another image. This is evidence. He's in the same spot, aiming from the left side. He fired his rifle from his left side as well. The Mormon photo shows both gunmen right there. There's gunman one. We'll do it this way. There's one gunman. We can see his eyes. We can see his face. We can see his ears. We can see his hands. We can see his rifle. Gentleman down here. We can see his rifle sticking up right here. We see him holding his rifle. We see his shoulder. We see him right here. Receding hairline. Same as we see in the next film. Next film shows the shot being taken. Zapruder film shows Governor kind of getting shot at this time when he was turning to his left. Darnell film was filmed right after. It shows the gunman still aiming his rifle as the motorcade was going by. Mormon photo shows the gunman right here before he even started aiming his rifle to JFK, because the Mormon photo was taken around frame 304 of the Zapruder film. JFK did not get shot until 313 of the Zapruder film. Like I said, I present evidence on JFK assassination right here. I'm showing real images on my research. I went over some claims and shown evidence to back that. Thank you for your time.